All right. Hey, YouTube, I'm Lucky, and Bungie falsely banned the owner of one of Destiny 2's most popular third-party websites, D2GUNSMITH.com. I broke this news story yesterday with this video titled Bungie Issues Huge Ban Wave, Net Limiters Getting Banned, and in this video, if you haven't watched it already, make sure to click on it. But if you haven't watched it, basically I talk about how Bungie issued a ban wave to a variety of notorious net limiters inside the Destiny 2 community, and when they did so, they actually banned the owner of D2GUNSMITH.com and the owner of the site, and a lot of people who know this individual were protesting this, saying that there's no way that this individual would cheat or use net limiting inside Destiny 2. They should be unbanned, and then as of yesterday, they have been unbanned. Now, on Twitter, the owner of D2GUNSMITH.com wrote this. They had a picture of Thanos staring at the sunset, and then they wrote down to, genuinely don't know what I did, but I'm not appealing it. They know more than me, lol. Then they go to respond to that saying, why aren't you appealing it if you're innocent? He says, because the last guy who got unbanned for a false positive spent 8 months appealing it, nonstop. I got better things to do with my time. Plus, it's an excuse to stop maintaining a website that does something multiple sites already do, probably referencing stuff like light.gg. He then goes on to say, my only hypothesis is that my internet's been throttled since a nationwide outage, and that weird inconsistency hasn't stopped causing my connection to look like net limiting. Email from my ISP. This email from their internet service provider, which reads, after the outage on July 8th, 2022, Rogers implemented a company-wide change embargo until July 18th, 2022. This is a pretty standard practice because changes to a network are responsible for most problems. Since then, Rogers has extended their change embargo twice, the first time until July 25th, 2022, and recently again for an indeterminate period, which means there's no scheduled date to complete our request for additional capacity. So what the heck does that mean for all of you? Well, at first we weren't too worried about the embargo because we hadn't reached our maximum capacity, but our rapid growth means we are quickly running out of bandwidth, and that means you may notice your internet slowing down during peak hours between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., and that really sucks. So his internet service provider quite literally is being transparent and telling them that they will be throttling them during 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. because there's going to be a high usage rate. His internet connection while playing Destiny 2 during those hours would be constantly fluctuating, potentially looking like a net limiter, when in reality he is not. He then goes on to say, either way, I'm not going to bother with appealing. An 8-month back and forth just to get Lawrence Driver through Flinch isn't worth it. If you don't believe me, that's your choice. Just say I was no clipping with infinite chaos reach or something. And honestly, at that point, I thought it would be the end of the story. I mean, an individual gets banned and they choose not to appeal under any circumstances because the other people that have appealed have been through an extensive process and only to spend 8 months to finally get an overturn. And then with the unfortunate evidence of their ISP basically telling them that their internet is being throttled and fluctuating during peak hours, basically made it look like it was going to be a perfect storm for this individual to just be banned indefinitely. But then the very next day, we got this news right here where they tweet out, got unbanned, still uninstalled, probably staying that way for a while. No, I never ended up sending an appeal and I'm done working on the site, which is actually really crazy when you think about it. This person didn't even send in an appeal. So for whatever reason, they got the attention of Bungie because they own a huge website, D2GUNSMITH.com, might even be the most popular third-party site aside from DIM, and without submitting an appeal to Bungie, they were actually unbanned. The ban was reverted. So for whatever reason, a Bungie dev looked into this and decided that they were falsely banned and unbanned them, but they are still done with Destiny 2 and they're not going to work on their wildly popular site D2GUNSMITH, and I am so sad about this. This is quite literally my favorite site. I use this site every day. Scrolling down, he then goes on to say, no, I'm not making it open source solely because I'd expect this community to redeploy it as is, but plastered with ads within 2 days of it going public. Other sites' functionality do what it does, and anyone can go remake it. There's no secret sauce behind how it works. So he's going to quit working on the website D2GUNSMITH. He's not making it open source. This is a true tragedy within the Destiny community right now. His final response to us on Twitter in regards to this topic reads right here, why leave if you got unbanned so quickly? Free time. If I'm any other user who happened to be a false positive, sub 1% chance of an unban, which he does make an extremely valid point. If you aren't an influential figure within the Destiny community, your chance of getting unbanned is next to zero. I rarely hear about individuals being falsely banned by Bungie, they do try to be pretty meticulous when it comes to the situation because clearly the ramifications are huge. Banning people that have done nothing wrong has serious ramifications and adverse effects to the Destiny community, clearly. And unfortunately, the reality is it's very hard to sift through who's telling the truth and who's lying because people that cheat inside Destiny 2 have already signed up for being dishonest in the game. When they get banned, of course, the first thing they're going to do is cry, "Well, I was never cheating. I never cheated. I didn't cheat. I should be unbanned," because that's their only hope at getting their account back so that they can cheat more. Obviously, this is not the case for this individual, but that's the case for a large majority of cheaters inside Destiny 2. They have no morality. They are cheating inside a video game, and it makes it extremely difficult for Bungie to sift through who's actually cheating and who's not. But it's very important that Bungie actually get it right. And unfortunately, in this case, they did not get it right. He then goes on to say, State of the Game could write an essay on endgame PvE's balance of challenge versus accessibility. PvP has a multi-year identity crisis. So he's unhappy with the game as a whole, which I think a lot of people can agree with this sentiment. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. And again, make sure to subscribe here with notifications on if you want to stay up to date on all the news in Destiny 2. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.